Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Squashfest podcast. My name is Roman Versus, and this is my co host.
Caramel King, the boy Harm.
You're going to say that every time?
I was actually thinking about changing it up every single time.
That would be hilarious. You know what that reminds me of? Psych. Every time Sean
Okay.
would introduce Gus, he always
Yes.
introduces him some other way.
Yeah.
He's never
Such a
said he's never said Gus.
such an underrated, underappreciated show.
Agreed, 100%. So today we're going to be talking about, for the most part, Raw. Um, and I guess the biggest takeaways that we had for the show. I feel like it was a very solid show. It had moments where it was pretty high, and then other moments where it was just solid. There was nothing wrong with that. I didn't feel at any point in time they were lagging. I didn't feel it was stagnant at any point where I wanted to shoot myself like back in the day Raw. When
2019 Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I was gonna say when he was still in power, and then it was unbearable to watch. Like this show was solid, and then it had moments where it hit its high.
Yeah, absolutely. And my biggest takeaway from the entire show is obviously we're going to start talking about the John Cena promo, and he went in a little bit more in depth of his motivations on why he has turned his back on the fans. There was one match I could have done without, and that wasn't even because it was a bad match. It was just because actually it was two matches, but I'll get into the second. Just because that match just seemed of no consequence to the overall bigger picture of things.
Which
But
one was that?
we'll get to that. Lyra Valkyria and Raquel Rodriguez.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah, I love Lyra. She's a great in-ring worker, but the gimmick doesn't do it for me. Right now she's falling into like the Natalia Dolph Ziggler thing, where she's just match person. They put her out there to just have really good matches and showcase what she is, but she's not in a feud with anybody, right?
She's not in a feud, and they're not doing anything necessarily with that character per se. It's just
And
go put on a. It's filler. It's
it
filler.
is. It's filler, and she's the inaugural women's intercontinental champion. And you forget that sometimes that she's a champion, but then you dichotomy it with on the other show you have Chelsea Green, who is the inaugural women's United States champion, and she always finds a way to make it entertaining. Like Chelsea Green is money, so that
Love her or hate her, Chelsea brings it and somehow makes her matches memorable. There's always something, but it's like
yeah,
when you have a match where two of the people you're not really doing anything with, that's an
yeah,
issue. Because
yeah.
Raquel Rodriguez, I've always argued, I love that girl. I think she's also a really good in ring worker, but I've always felt like they've never done anything with her. And it's like, okay, all you keep doing with her is putting her with somebody to be an enforcer of some kind, and then most of her matches she loses. Like
She's she's early Diesel to Shawn Michaels in 1994, 1995. She's just the big heavy in the background.
exactly, and I hate that for her, but neither here nor there. The point is that you can't put two people that you're not doing anything with in a match against each other.
Yeah, it was it was it was a good match. I'm not gonna lie. Lyra puts on good matches, but at the end of the day, like I said, there is of no consequence. And when you have somebody there who's of no consequence, and you know you're not building towards your biggest show to really showcase her, like it's just 15 minutes of okay, I'm staring at the screen right now.
Okay, and what was your second match that you had an issue with?
We spoke about this. Jimmy and Jay against Austin
Oh,
Theory and Grayson Waller.
I would have put that
Oh,
first.
that would no. I mean, the the reason I don't put that above the Lyra match is because at least you're building something with Jay. You know he's got his title match at WrestleMania, and it was a means to an end.
I
Regardless
I
of
disagree with that wholeheartedly. So the only
okay,
reason you put it above it is because in terms of in match, I felt there was nothing. It was what happened later on backstage that left you with, oh, okay, now suddenly there was a whole reason for it and suddenly you care about it. But the match itself, you didn't. It
but
was
that's what I'm saying. It was a means to an end. You put the match out there just to have the match, and then have the after match events and then the backstage. You can't have that backstage segment unless you have Jay
No,
Uso, you know, slipping
but
and
that's what I'm
falling.
saying. What I'm saying is that that match, the only reason you put it one above the other one is because the other one didn't have that saving grace of having a backstage segment. It didn't lead anywhere. Whereas this, at least you had that Jimmy and Jay having a conversation in the back, and that slap heard round the world. That was a real slap.
Jimmy put it in there.
He put it, but if you look at Gunther's face after he got slapped,
He starts running up.
he no, like first off, it turned red immediately, but it looked
Mhm.
like shock, like he didn't expect it to be that hard.
Yeah,
And then he had no choice because he's on camera but to smile and eat that. But
yeah.
there was, for me personally, again, I love these segments where it's kind of like towing the line between what's kayfabe and what's not kayfabe. Because in that moment, I was just like, "Is there real heat here?" Like leading up to it, where he needed to slap him like that.
No, I think you had to. If you're Jimmy, you have to lay it in there like that because for two reasons. One, Gunther, when it comes to chops, is one of the hardest hitters in the company.
100%,
So
and you
you,
know he's getting you next week.
yeah, 100%. So Jimmy's like, I'm gonna eat one or two from him next week. I'm getting my receipt before it happens now. like that's I can see that going through it. And plus, he's got the kayfabe motivation of my brother, my little brother, even though they're twins, my little brother is feeling down because he doesn't feel like he can beat him. I have to stand up for him right
100%.
now.
100%.
You want to get into it segment by segment?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So the show's kicked off with John Cena coming out to the ring, and I'm loving the fact that he's not changing the entrance music, not doing anything, still coming out real to who he is. But then the crowd is playing on it with John Cena sucks throughout his music. And these European crowds are hitting it out of the park right now because they're really adding to the show. So Cena comes out, gets into the ring, cuts another long-winded promo. This was way too long, but cuts another long-winded promo about how he's going to destroy everything that the fans love because for the last 25 years, every time he said something or did something, it wasn't enough for the fans. So he's talking about how he's going to destroy wrestling. He's going to win the championship to leave and retire with the championship. And so that way, no one after him will ever be noticed as a real or true champion, that he'll always be the real champion. And just cutting a heel promo that was good, really good, but a little too long.
Well, I just loved it because we're getting to see him stretch those heel muscles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been such a long time coming. None of us thought we were ever going to see this day where we see a heel John Cena.
Oh no.
And now to get it, and he's just letting loose, you could tell he's enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
He's enjoying the hell out of it. And the way he's just going in and hitting those points of things that you can actually believe. I could believe he's pissed off about the jokes. I can believe that he's pissed off about the fact that he has those John Cena sucks chants, or the people who always give him a bad rap saying he doesn't put people over and so on and so forth. And he's hitting each of those now and using those as his fuel as to why he's heel, and so it's that much more believable. You know what I mean? If he came out and he just winged it and just did this whole new gimmick and so on and so forth, it wouldn't be hitting the way this is hitting. It's hitting because of how realistic it's coming off.
Yeah, and we've seen people turn from babyface to heel and do it's a your fault promo talking to the fans. It's a because of you promo. And it always comes off and feels not genuine, right? Like, yeah, we were babyface, we cheered you. We were heel, we booed you, right? But Cena has been in such a dichotomy since, I don't know, late 2000s where you either loved him or you hated him, right? There was a segment of fans who never truly got behind John Cena, even when he was the flag bearer of the company. So he's taking that fuel and as motivation, and he's doing a great job because he could have taken this entire run and said, I'm going to go the Kobe Bryant route. I'm going to go the Dwayne Wade route. I'm going to take the entire year, get cheered in every stadium, sell my merchandise, make a whole bunch of more money, and just kill and just
hit the
and
same
just
thing.
and hit the same thing. But one of the great things that he's doing is on his way out, he's making the next generation's superstar. And Cody's already there. Cody's the next John Cena. But having Cody feud with Cena going into Mania, especially this version of Cena, and you know how I feel about who's going to win at Mania, you're making Cody the next babyface. My Mount Rushmore WWE is always going to be the four guys from the four generations. It's Hogan, it's Austin, it's Cena, and it's Roman. Those are the four guys because they embody a generation. Cody is the next generation. Cody is the guy for the 2020s for to carry it for the next few years. Cena's just making sure that he implements Cody on top right now so he can carry the company in this generation.
My only issue with that is that I hate Cody Rhodes, but that's neither here nor there. You know what it is? I just hate I want to compare it to the way some people feel about Superman, where they feel he's one dimensional and he's just too good of a guy, right?
You
And
mean
he
the way we
doesn't get.
felt about John Cena?
I never felt that about John Cena.
I am with other wrestling fans who
I've
always felt that about John Cena. He was literally called Super Cena.
That's cool.
LOL, Cena wins.
No, but the whole point about that is even he brings it up in his promos. He even brought it up. I think it was not this one, but the week before or whatever. And he keeps bringing it up even before he turned heel. When is the last time he did this? When is the last time he did that? And he's hitting you with statistics telling you, I haven't main evented in so-and-so time. I haven't won a match since so-and-so time. And he's telling you all these things, but you guys still have it stuck in your head of that one time period where, yes, he was absolutely unstoppable and he squashed everyone. That hasn't been John Cena for years, and you guys still hang on
because
to it.
he hasn't been a full-time wrestler since 2016.
And I understand that, but he's been doing nothing but putting people over for years now. Let it go. Let it go.
Okay. All right.
And
Go
right
ahead.
now, my thing with Cody is the only issue I have with Cody is, for me, he kind of seems one dimensional. And I just want to see him. I'm ready for something else. I'm just ready for him to be doing something else. And not necessarily, I still want him in the title picture. I don't know what that thing is, but I just need him to do something else. Another gimmick, something. I don't know. But I'm just sick of this version of him, where he's just so super goody that I'm just like, I can't do it.
But that's not going to change anytime soon.
No, his trajectory, they're not going to change anything right now. The formula is the formula. The formula is going to stay that way until the formula don't work, and then they'll pivot to get it back on track. And I get that.
Is he's going to eventually lose that championship, and he needs to chase, because we're coming off of 4 years of Roman having that title, and now it's been over a year of Cody having that title. And the problem with Cody for the last year, since he beat Roman at 40, is you never had a feud for Cody that you thought somebody was going to take that title off of him. It wasn't going to be AJ Styles. It wasn't going to be. It wasn't be Kevin Owens.
Although I really want a KO championship
title run, I think he could do great. Again, another guy who hasn't been a champion since 2017. Like, it's been that long. But it wasn't going to be anybody in the last year to take that title off of Cody. I feel like this is the first time you have a legitimate threat at taking that title off of Cody, because
this is somebody who can make the argument that this should happen. It's best for business. It could happen because of the elite star that this person is.
The money is in the chase. Mm-hmm. Why did Cody get so over for the first 2 years of his company? Because we all thought he was going to win at 39. I was with two of our friends watching that thing, and we were shocked when he lost, just like everybody else in the world. But that made Cody a bigger star because he had to chase that championship for another year. And now his title reign has felt kind of stagnant. So I think he needs to lose that title. And hold on. Recording. Okay, that'll be a blooper. um, think he needs to lose that title and go back and chase again.
I agree.
All right.
What
Well,
was the next segment?
we didn't talk about how Cody came out and what he said to Cena. We just talked about Cena.
Yeah,
We forgot about that
I
part.
forgot about.
So after Cena talks for 15 minutes,
you ain't got
I'm just saying,
you dragging
Cody comes out and Cody tells him the 100% different from what he told him last week. Last week he told Cena, this version of John Cena is not going to beat me. You're not the hustler anymore. You're not the guy who needs to scratch and claw. I'm going to dog. He basically said, I'm going to dog walk this Cena. That's what he said last week.
Yeah.
After the promo this week, Cody changed his tune. Cody said, I finally see this Cena. This is probably the most dangerous version of John Cena I've ever seen. And so, the fact that you want to walk away with this title and take it away, you have to take it away from me. And that's going to be the biggest fight of your life. Cena says nothing. Cena drops the mic. Cena walks away. Because and I said this to you yesterday, Cena's issue isn't with Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
So he hasn't said
it's with the
fans.
It's everybody.
He hasn't. It's with everybody else. So he hasn't said a word to Cody since the beatdown. And I'm waiting for the moment when he comes and he eviscerates Cody on the mic,
which he's definitely gonna do.
Yeah, but they may
John
wait.
Cena's one of the best people on the mic, and he thinks on the fly.
One of the best of all time. He does not need. He does not. He gets bullet points, but he writes his own promos. That dude is one of the best of all time. He's going to eviscerate Cody Rhodes.
And the same way to happen.
It needs to happen. The same way he eviscerated Roman Reigns years ago. Like
eviscerated Roman, he eviscerated The Rock. He's eviscerated plenty of people on his way.
I think the only person who could stood with him was Punk. Punk's promos with him in 2011, 2012.
Because that's another guy that can think on his toes. You give him bullet points, but he's somebody that can give it to you on the fly. So
yeah. So Cena walks away. Cody, he takes the powder. He doesn't actually fight Cody. And then they go on to the next segment with Cody standing in the ring, basically, what is challenging Cena, not challenging, but threatening to beat Cena at Mania. Mm-hmm. We leave to commercial break, come back, and again we've spoken about this already. The first match of the night was Jey Uso with a mystery partner against A-Town Down Under. We've already touched on the Jimmy and Jay aspect of this. What are they doing with Austin Theory?
Absolutely nothing. They're doing absolutely nothing. I get it. You want to build up to WrestleMania, so you put Jay in the match. I understood the first week. You get him through Austin Theory. I get the second week. Even though the second week wasn't that was the squash match.
No, the first week was Grayson Waller. The second week was the squash
against Austin. Yeah,
Austin Theory. Yeah.
So he squashes him, and okay, that's good again because you're building him up like he's way leagues above Austin. You don't want him to struggle with him and then think he's gonna be Gunther. No, you have him squash him. Cool. I'm cool with that. And then this week you have him revert back in the Jey Uso where now he's the tag team again. Like, I just thought that was stupid. I would have preferred, I would have personally preferred you put him in a singles match against some other mid-carder that you're not doing anything with. You have Jay win. I would have been cool with A-Town Down coming in, jumping him, and then having him overcome them after the match. That would have propelled him and made him look even better, and it would have made sense. But putting him back as a tag team just didn't make any sense to me.
To touch on your point, and this is a guy who would only make sense for him to have that match. What the hell is Ludwig Kaiser? Like, why couldn't you do Jey Uso and Ludwig this week? Because he's facing Gunther. Ludwig has been off TV for a couple weeks. They're in Europe. He is from Germany. Put him on TV. Like, have him face Jey Uso. Give him 10 minutes. Give him 11 minutes. And then have Jey get the win. Have Gunther come, and that's how you motivate this match.
Something.
You need to have Jay. They're building him as the underdog because he's never beaten Gunther. He lost at Saturday Night Main Event. He lost before that, and now he's got his third try and third crack against Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how you make him a bigger underdog? You have him win his match. You have him beat Gunther's boy. And then you have Gunther every week obliterate Jey Uso. Tie him up in the ropes. Chop him like crazy. Don't let the you're gonna have Jason Jordan and not Pat McAfee, all these guys, Shane Helms come out and try to stop Gunther, right? None of them can do it. You have him keep chopping Jay until his chest bleeds, until something happens. That's how you get Jey Uso over even more into this match.
I was gonna say, calm down, AEW. The way you said, make his chest bleed.
Just no, but you know how Gunther chops, you get the broken blood vessels.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Like, you do that. But this build for this match has been so underwhelming. And I'm not a big Jey Uso fan to begin with.
You're not a Jey Uso fan at all, other than
I'm not
tag team guy.
But you can get him over with the fans by doing other things. I know he's over with the fans, but you could have brought him to a new level where maybe you could main event night one if you do it properly. Mm-hmm. But the way they've done it, you can't main event night one. You can't. He's main event Jey Uso. He's not main eventing WrestleMania. Like,
true. Poor guy. But I did love that backstage segment. I love the backstage segment. I love the fact that right now he's in his head. He feels like he can't do it, so on and so forth. Jimmy's gonna get his ass beat so bad that it's gonna give Jay the desire, the will, everything he needs to overcome and finally put an end to Gunther's reign. And I can't wait to see that. That backstage segment was everything. The match just didn't make sense. That was something that I felt they just threw together to have them have a match to explain why later, Jay and Jimmy were talking in the back. And I get that, but you could have done it how you said. You could have done it how I said. There were better ways to do it than just make us, again, see him as a tag team guy when you're trying to build him up as main event Jey Uso. So
Jimmy and Jay win the match. We're not going to go into the details of the match. After the match, Gunther comes out and attacks Jay. Actually, he attacked Jimmy first, got him out of the ring. Then he attacked Jay. Jay got the better of him, and then he went for a spear, lost his footing, and Gunther put him into another chokehold until Jimmy came in with the chair. Later in the show, Jimmy and Jay are talking in the back. Jay is basically in tears saying, I don't think I could beat him. I don't think I am who I basically crisis of confidence. And Jimmy's yelling at him, no, you can't beat him. This version of you cannot beat Gunther. I need main event Jey Uso. I need right-hand man Jey Uso. I need the Jey Uso who won the Royal Rumble. That Jey Uso can do anything. Mm-hmm. And that's when you have the face-to-face with Jimmy and Jay. Jimmy and Gunther. Jimmy challenges Gunther to a match next week. He slaps Gunther, slaps a taste out of Gunther's mouth, and then motivates the segment for next week, which is what Roman was saying. Gunther is going to destroy Jimmy Uso next week to motivate Jay to get that fire going into Mania.
And we're saying that's us assuming that. For me at this point, I would say that is a complete certainty. But at the same time, the way these shows have been going, they'll do something completely different and have us second guessing the decision making. But for the most part, I trust Paul Levesque. So that's what I'm assuming is going to happen. But I trust that he's going, no matter what happens next week, I'm sure it's the right move.
I trust him to a certain point. There are booking decisions he makes that I question.
And we will get to this. I agree with you wholeheartedly because we have to talk about the tag division. But let's move on.
We'll get to that. But that brings me into the next segment. Lyra Valkyria versus Raquel Rodriguez for the Intercontinental Championship. We spoke about this during the cold open, during the intro. Good match, but you knew Raquel wasn't walking away with this title. She's won half of the women's tag team champions. Who, again, a belt that they've really never done anything with. And you knew she wasn't walking away with this championship, even though I think she would be a good women's intercontinental champion. I think having her as a heel and a giant heel that people have to chase after to get that title, have Dakota Kai chase her, have Lyra chase her. Who else? Have when Kairi Sane gets back, have Kairi Sane Raquel Rodriguez, right? These are matches you can do when you have a heel champion. But this match was 10, 11 minutes of good match, but just not consequence. And I don't like Lyra Valkyria's character. She's supposed to be a bird. She has wings. I don't know what this is. Like she comes out, she when she was in NXT, she used to come out with CGI thunder coming down around her. Like I don't know what this is, and she's just match person. I don't get it.
She needs something different. That's what it is. You know who I just thought Raquel reminds me of? Tamina.
Okay.
She's Tamina.
Yes. Yes, 100%.
Like, the talent is there. You would like to see her be one of those people that could just go around dominating and be that person that is holding the title and people are trying to bring down, but you can believe that she's squashing everybody, so on and so forth. But they just don't utilize her that way. She's the big person that the hero always just somehow beats the crap out of and is of no consequence.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just popped into my head, so I just had to say that.
Okay. So following this match, we got a amazing video package.
Stop it.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful the way they. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a beautiful video package. They talked about the history of luchadors. They talked about Mil Mascaras, the greatest Mexican luchador of all time. They talked about all of these things, and they shot it in such an old timey way to show the future of lucha libre in WWE, the future of a future world champion, El Grande Americano. No, you don't like this? No.
So I like what they're doing, but it's so annoying. It's so annoying. Just as a Latino, it's just so annoying. And again, because he's feuding with Rey Mysterio, he's feuding with the LWO, a group that I felt as soon as they brought it up, there was so much potential for, and then they flatlined it. For him to now be doing this, it's really annoying. Because think about it. All the effort they could have put into the LWO, they're putting into this. And listen, this is not bad. That's my point.
This is not.
This is
Chad
not
Gable
bad.
makes it work.
It's entertaining. Chad Gable's amazing. I think he's another one that's booked incorrectly, and I mean it in the sense that he should be higher on the totem pole.
He's one of those guys. Like he's from bell to bell. He is the best in-ring worker they have right now. I think I used to say it was Seth. Watching Gable work those last year when he was feuding with Gunther, and then when he turned heel, watching Gable work the last year or two, he has become the best in-ring worker they have.
I'll agree with that. But again, so that's my problem with this is the fact that they're putting so much effort into this thing that's making fun of luchadors, lucha libre, and all that, when they literally have a group of lucha libres that they could be doing something with.
Two. You forgot about Legado del Fantasma on the other show. You got two.
There you go. You have two groups that you could be doing something with that you're doing absolutely nothing with, and you're putting all this energy into the character that makes fun of it.
Yes, but I can understand what they're trying to do with Chad Gable. They're giving him dimension, right? So they had really nothing with him, and he lost to Penta twice. I think it was twice. It doesn't matter. He lost to Penta. Remember how this whole thing started? He lost to Penta. He lost to Ray. He goes to Dom Mysterio, who Dom Mysterio is an underrated wrestler. Since he's been a heel, he 100%. does not do the wrestling anymore. When he was a babyface, he was out there flying around. Yep. He was doing arm drags. He's an underrated wrestler. Yep. He went to Dom Mysterio. Mm-hmm. And Dom Mysterio gave him a piece of paper
Yep.
and said, "Go to my guy in Mexico."
Yep.
And he went down to Mexico in a very Lucha Underground style shot, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He went down to Mexico, and some old Mexican guy with a beard gave him what essentially is the Grande Americano mask, and he's wearing it. He's wearing it. So what I think they should do, he should go on a winning streak. Keep this going. Go on a winning streak.
Okay.
Until after Mania.
Okay.
Because we'll get into it later, but go into a feud with Penta. Again, Grande Americano versus Penta Cien Miedo after Mania. Have them do like 2 or 3 weeks. Have Grande, have Gable keep getting over until you debut Rey Fenix.
Okay.
And then you get Rey Fenix to come in and help his brother take down the guy who's making fun of their culture. Their tag team, their tag team name is literally the Lucha Brothers. Like you have to get.
Well, we don't know what it's gonna be now.
I think that they'll keep that. I think that because what
you think they own the rights? That's where
I think they do. I think Penta and Phoenix do own the rights because remember AEW.
I would love for them to own the rights to that music because if they could come into the Lucha Bros music, that would be amazing.
I don't think so. I think that definitely was a WBD AEW thing because they had different music on the indies. But I was thinking about this. Does Chad Gable need a stable of fake luchadors?
That's too much.
you put the Creed brothers in, and that's what gets you Phoenix coming in because you can't have El Grande Americano leading the Creed brothers. So you put the Creed brothers in luchador masks, and then you get Phoenix coming in to help his brother take down the fake luchadors.
You're taking an idea that's crazy and then saying, "Hey, let's double up on this. Let's do this, but more."
Yes, 100%. You imagine the Creed brothers doing their cannonball finishing move on the top rope while wearing lucha masks.
I'm glad you're entertained by this.
Think about what it would be like if Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas came out in all Mexican gear 20 years ago.
I hate you. So continue.
Okay.
Great
all right.
video package.
Great video package for El Grande Americano. And we got a good backstage segment out of it where Chad Gable walks up to Adam Pearce, and Adam Pearce is in the backstage with
Ray and
Ray is basically Adam Pearce is there with the LWO. I couldn't remember Dragon Lee's name for a second. With the LWO, and Chad Gable comes in.
Too sick.
This man had a doctor's note, like a doctor's note. And Adam Pearce's face when he goes, "This is legit." It's just amazing. But Chad Gable comes up with a great idea. Ray wants a match. Why not have him face El Grande Americano?
Of course.
So we get that match later. Dragon Lee versus El Grande Americano. And what is my highlight of the show? Like that match was amazing. That match was amazing. Gable was working his ass off in both the American mat wrestling style and the lucha style. Like he was doing very well. The next segment. I was gonna say Tiffany Stratton. That's not right. Bianca Belair, Io Sky. So Adam Pearce comes out with
it. It could have been the same thing, Derek, because both of those championship, it's lackluster, a bit lackluster, for me. So I can understand why you get them confused right now.
Yeah, well, so Adam Pearce gets to the ring. He has the folio with the contract signing from last week, where Bianca and Io signed for their match at Mania. Obviously, Rhea came out, attacked them both, signed this contract. Adam Pearce basically says, I don't care what Rhea Ripley did. She's not in the match at WrestleMania. If she would listen to me, I have been trying to tell her she's due a title rematch, and that will happen next week on Raw. That Bianca Belair comes out, and she's basically in all of her I don't want to say what I wanted to say, but on all of her swag, comes out looking like $1,000,000. She looked amazing. Her gear looked fantastic, and she comes out and she said, "No, no, no, no. I won the Elimination Chamber. I bust my bump to get this match against Io. Rhea can't just dictate herself and get into the match at WrestleMania. Oh, she shouldn't be getting a title rematch before I get mine."
And she shouldn't.
I'm
saying
yes
she
and
shouldn't.
no.
No, I'm saying she shouldn't be in the match. She should get her title rematch before WrestleMania.
Before Mania, yeah. So that's when Io comes out in super babyface mode.
And I'm sorry, but Io is it for me on this entire feud. Like, the fact that they keep smudging her and she's yelling at the top of her, like, "I am the champion!" Like, I love what she's doing.
Yeah, she's doing great work. They're making her the super babyface.
Yeah.
They're taking the two perennial women stars, the women I've called for years, the Cena and Orton of the women's division. They're taking them and giving them heel tactics. They're making Io the super babyface. So Io comes out and she goes, "I don't care if it's Rhea. I don't care if it's Bianca. I don't care if it's both. I'm going to beat them because I am the women's world champion." Rhea comes out.
Of course.
Rhea comes out. Of course, because she's coming off like a petulant child at this point. Like, she's coming off so petty. And she comes in and she says, "No, no, no. I deserve the match at Mania. I deserve this. I deserve my title rematch. No one, and that's when Adam Pearce cuts her off. Baby! And that's when Adam Pearce cuts her off. And she goes, "If you would just listen to me, I'm trying to tell you, I'm giving you your title rematch, and it'll happen next week on Raw." Bianca and Rhea start arguing. Again, Io feels disrespected because she's the women's world champion and no one's paying attention to her. And for the third week in a row, somebody put their hands in Io's face.
Smushed again.
Like they're treating her like the sibling, the youngest sibling.
But
amongst the two older siblings who just wants to play, and they just keep pushing our way.
My thing is, though, and I know you disagree, but the way they're doing this, Io better win.
I agree. No, I agree. She better win.
Io better win because they keep smushing her. I'm sorry, but they keep smushing the champion, and as you know, it's just super disrespectful. I'm sorry. She needs to come back with the comeback, and she needs to beat both women decisively.
Yes, at 100%. And they haven't officially made that match yet, but that's gonna be the Mania match. And then we have a backstage segment where Bianca again goes to Adam Pearce, starts yelling at Adam Pearce. He's like, "Why is Rhea getting this match? Why? I just want to make sure that my match is still set for Mania." And Adam Pearce looks at her and he goes, "You know what? You want to make sure this match is going to go good? You're going to have a role in it. You're going to be the special guest referee."
I love the fact that she said, "I don't know how to referee," and he said, "You got a week to learn."
Yeah, 100%. Her face, her comedic timing on that. "I don't know how to referee." It was like, what? You've been in so many matches. All you got to do is stand there, make sure no one hits each other with a chair, and count to 3. That's about it. That's all you got to do.
When they go out the ring, count to 10.
I mean, that's referee discretion. You know how many times I've seen a referee not count people out?
You're not wrong.
That's up to referee discretion.
Facts.
But it's like I said, we're gonna get some sort of smosh or some sort of wonk finish on that, or some sort of double DQ, or Bianca just might count them both out. Who knows? They gotta motivate somehow to put Rhea into
100%. Something has to go wrong in that match for them to come up with the explanation as to why it's now a triple threat and not a one-on-one. 100%.
Yeah, and I don't want to go with the aspect of Rhea beats Io, takes the title back, and then we get the rematch again. Like stop. I don't want to flip flop the titles. Let's get an actual creative way to get Rhea into this match.
100%.
Okay, match of the night: Dragon Lee versus Americano. And I said this before, Gable is on his best work right now. Like he's killing it in the ring. He's killing it with the comedic timing. It's just a little. Not it may seem like a small thing, but instead of saying thank you, gracias, it's just it's hilarious. And they had a really great match. They got the "This Is Awesome" chants. They gave them, I think it was like 2 or 3 segments. I don't know. I watch it on Netflix, so I never really see the commercials anymore. But actually, everybody watches on Netflix, so it was wrong. But yeah, no, they had a really great match. This might have been Dragon Lee's best match on the main roster. Gable is just elevating everybody he works with right now.
I think he's doing really good work, but again, this is to my point. They need to shoot this guy to the moon. He's
The
doing
problem with
amazing work in ring. So here's again, and this is just my opinion. The reason you shoot this guy to the moon, he's essentially Kurt Angle.
Mhm.
But it's also because he's Kurt Angle that I could understand why you don't want to do that, because you just don't want to replicate the same thing again. But in wrestling, I feel like a lot of things are replicated in some way, shape, or form. And so I feel like the fact that he gets those Kurt Angle comparisons, again, to your point, his comedic timing, his in ring, like these are all things that we used to lament on Kurt Angle
Kurt Angle.
and the things that he used to do. His athleticism, the things that he's able to do. And again, he's elevating other stars along with him. He's making you care about things like I care about him versus Ray and all this stuff going on, despite the fact that I'm so down on the LWO. I'm still caring about this feud specifically because of what Chad is doing. And that's the important part, and that's why I say this is why you need to elevate somebody like that. Now, I'm not saying main event title, but I'm saying he's more than just a match filler. He's Yes, he's a mid carder, but he should be that upper echelon of mid carder.
Yeah, and the problem with the upper echelon of mid carders right now is you have the Intercontinental Championship, which made event in tonight's show, and it's Braun Breaker, who I think is going to be a future superstar, the future world champion in this company, and you had Pento, who you're pushing to the moon right now, right? So there, you don't really have a spot for him in that title scene, and you can't put him in the world title scene on either show because there's too much talent there right now. He's not on the level of Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, but he's right below them. He's right there.
Yeah.
But there are Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, like they have 8 to 10 guys who last year you had Finn Balor challenge Damian Priest for the title a couple times, right? So you have 8 to 10 guys who you can legitimately say could be world champion. And Chad Gable, it might be hard for him to break that glass ceiling.
So I agree with you, but you know what I'll hearken it to is not this year's Elimination Chamber, but what about the last year? When they put a bunch of random ass people that you would not expect in Elimination Chamber. You had Montez Ford, right?
He had a good run.
And he had a great run in that match. You understand what I mean? You can do something like that where you have one of those matches where it's like Elimination Chamber, you have War Games, something like that where you have just a bunch of those wrestlers and have them highlight and build them up there. That was the moment where you should have been building up Montez, and they did nothing with him after the fact. They highlighted him. They highlighted him. He was maybe hot for like a week or two after that, and then that was it.
They never pulled the trigger on splitting that team that they should have done years ago.
Agreed. So my point is you can do something like that right now with Chad. He doesn't necessarily need to be in that upper echelon, but you can put him in matches where he's starting to toe the line, where he's entering. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at with him. I feel like, and I'm hoping that let's get through this. Let's get through the Rey Mysterio feud. Let's get through that and then see what we're doing.
Penta. Okay, so yeah, that great match. Match ends with Chad Gable. They're on the top rope. They're straddling the top rope, and Gable jumps up, and to get leverage, he puts his fingers in the eye holes of Dragon Lee's mask, and essentially rips Dragon Lee's mask off, and obviously clean off in Lucha Libre.
And the way he dove,
yeah,
covering his face. I was just like, wow.
It's in lucha libre aspects. It's disrespectful to your family to show and your heritage to show your face. That's why they wear the masks. So he covers up his face. Grande Americano does not hit him with a lucha move. He puts him in an ankle lock.
Yep.
And he makes him tap out while having an ankle lock on him.
Mm-hmm.
So
good work, Michael Cole, for calling that out.
Yes, Michael Cole was saying. Michael Cole had the line of the night. Say, "Come on, that's an ankle lock. The last person to use an ankle lock was Chad Gable and Kurt Angle before him, and me." referencing his match against Jerry Lawler at WrestleMania 29, which is one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time. I don't know why Vince thought it would be funny to put his ring announcers in a match against each other.
Facts.
All right. Did we miss the Punk promo? No, we didn't miss the Punk promo. Okay, so Punk comes out. I don't remember when exactly it's in the show, but Punk comes out, and I love all three of these guys. Punk may be a little overrated to me, but whatever. He does everything well. A little overrated. Like, this is what I've always said about Punk. Punk is a really good wrestler. He's a really good wrestler. He's a really good on the mic.
Okay.
He's a really good. He's
amazing on the mic. Don't say good.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Here's my thing. When he was in WWE,
yes,
everybody loves Punk. He's the anti-hero. He's the Eddie Brock of WWE.
Yeah.
Right? He was never the best at any one thing. He was never the best wrestler. Mm-hmm. That was Daniel Bryan. He was never the best on the mic. That was John Cena. And he never had the biggest aura or thing about him, because you had guys still in the company like Undertaker, Kane, Bray Wyatt after him. You had the other guys with bigger characters. So Punk checks all the boxes of what makes a good wrestler.
Yeah.
But the way he's revered by fans, you would think he's the next coming of Hulk Hogan. You would think he's the next Shawn Michaels.
But again, it's because you got to understand. It's because he was gone for so long.
People thought this way about Punk before he left, bro.
Especially the
indie wrestling fans. Punk was God to them.
I get you, but what I'm saying is that mystique is what held up over time, and then nobody thought he was coming back to WWE. Nobody thought that.
Not until he left AEW. When he left AEW,
then obviously we were all like, oh, maybe he'll come back. Blah, blah, blah. But what I'm saying is from the time he left WWE, no one saw him coming back to wrestling. Then he got to AEW, and nobody thought he's leaving AEW. We thought that's it. That's his home. That's where he's going to stay. And then after that happened, yes, then he shows up. But again, not knowing all of that.
Still recording. Yes. Okay.
We need a private room going forward.
We need to go 100%. Yeah, no. So Punk comes out. I agree with you 100%. I'm just a little overrated. I enjoy him. He's not. I don't hate him, but he's a little overrated.
Okay.
So Punk comes out.
Strongly disagree for the record, but yes.
Okay.
Cuts his promo.
Well, I was going to answer that. I was say of the three guys, Punk is number 3 on my list. But Punk comes out, and you know what I said to you? Flimsiest reason for why he wants to fight Roman Reigns.
Again, I disagree.
I understand why Roman wants to fight him. I don't understand why Punk wants to fight Roman. I understand the feud is Punk and Rollins. It's been that for 2 years.
100%. Yep.
Roman just happens to be the third guy in this because of the Paul Heyman factor. Roman is so insecure in the people who he wants in his circle to only be his. The fact that Paul Heyman is a friend of Punk and a former advocate of Punk, it eats at Roman's soul.
Yes.
So Roman,
you understand it from that point. I get you.
You understand it from that point.
Your issue is CM
My
Punk.
issue is CM Punk saying, I don't hate Roman Reigns. I just want a main event WrestleMania. And these two guys have stopped me from getting what I really want. It's my main event WrestleMania shot. And okay, all right, fine. That's not a blood feud for Mania. That's not a like I want my main event night one WrestleMania to be 100% two guys who hate each other. You don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what you're playing, but two guys you don't know what's gonna happen in this match because they hate each other. And you could have had that with Punk and Rollins, even though we've got it 3 times already at this point.
Yeah.
But it's a box office match. But it's not. Punk's reasoning is super flimsy to me. It's a business reason more, and he said it. It's a business reason more than it's a personal reason.
Mm-hmm. I still don't have an issue with it. The guy was attacked in the cage. He was attacked in the cage. I got to get my get back. My only issue with that promo again is that he didn't really throw that in there as one of his reasons. Like, wait a second,
No.
I got to get my lick back.
You know? His reason was these guys is I want my spot. I want this is business. I get you guys.
That's my only issue with the promo is that he should have thrown that in there. Listen, you put hands on me, and I'm gonna get my lick back, 100%. It wasn't personal. Your guy still owes me a favor.
Here's another thing he could have said in that promo that would have made it even more intriguing. Hey, I haven't main evented WrestleMania. I was the number one guy in this company, maybe in 1A after John Cena years ago. I have never main evented WrestleMania. The two of you have. He said it towards the end. I brought you into this company, referencing the Shield,
yep,
and I can take you both out. But what he should have said was...
He said, I can't wait to be the one.
I can't wait to see this one and take you both out. So what he could have said was, you both main evented Mania. While I was gone, Roman, you had 7 WrestleMania main events. Rollins, your main event in WrestleMania was a tag match with Cody Rhodes. If I were here, that wouldn't have happened. If I were here, you guys wouldn't have main evented this many WrestleManias. Those would have been my spots. I'm coming back for my spot. I'm taking, and by beating the two of you, no one in the back, no one online, no one anywhere can say I don't deserve it anymore. That's the promo Punk should have cut last night. And that would have been much more understanding than what he actually said.
You're so mad.
I'm mad because I can understand. I can book a wrestling show. Paul Levesque, you need a writer?
Here we go.
I'll work from here.
Which is funny because that's one of the things that I want to get into when we start making our other content, as we've talked about before, and getting into the TikToks and so on and so the short form media. That's one of the things that I actually want to do with you. I want you to book certain people. I want you to book them the way you would book them for a year long, and see what you come up with. Because oftentimes I see people, and even with ourselves, we'll complain about something. Okay, but give me the alternative. Give me what you would do with this person. I would love to hear, and that in itself is it can be its own thing.
Yep.
Imagine an episode where I give you the floor and I say, give me Austin Theory. Book him for the year. You understand what I mean? Like, the possibilities are endless. And it's also like, again, let's engage in these conversations. And we already know, Paul said it himself, Paul Levesque is literally online looking at people's tweets, looking at Instagram, looking at TikTok. You never know what pops
Even
up.
If he's laughing at you.
Even if he's laughing at you, 100%. But that's entertaining to me, is the what ifs. You know what I mean? What if I had this? That's why I love playing the video games too, is also because you get to do what you want. You get to create the stories. You get to implement whatever you want. And that's why I love those kinds of things. And that's why I love the idea of this podcast, is just because me and you get to engage and hopefully engage with our listeners, and people come up with these wild, crazy ideas for certain people. I would love to have that discussion. So make sure, guys, as you're listening, comment. Tell us what you think. Make sure that you're engaging with us, because we will gladly engage with you. And Absolutely. Who knows, we'll definitely include some of your stuff in the podcast to come.
Yeah, we may even do specialty podcasts where you guys can like, hey, send us a question, send us this, maybe comment on something, and we'll shout you out. We'll do whatever. We're, like I said, brand new podcast, brand new show. We want to grow it as much as we can and have as much engagement with you guys as possible. So after Punk cries like a little baby, he we get our main event of the night. Scott Steiner 2.0, Braun Breaker, comes out and he has his match against Penta El Cero Miedo, Penta Dark, Pento Zero M, whatever his name is he's going by this week. Here's my thing about Penta.
You're going to piss me off. Go.
Great in-ring.
Yeah, no, I want to get ready for this because
great.
It's going to make me mad.
Great in-ring worker. Okay. I love watching him. He's fun.
Okay.
So there's two problems I have, and I've always had this problem with Penta.
Okay.
One, he looks like he went into a box of gimmicks and took everything out of that box because he didn't know what to wear. The man has a mask. The man has face paint. The man has a sash belt. The man has a robe. The man has tassels. Like, bro, you're doing too much. He looked like he was a creative wrestler in WWE 2K25, and we wanted to get the aura up to 1,000. All right? That's number one. That's...
I knew you were going to piss me off, but not to this level of pissing me off. I thought you were going to go somewhere else. I didn't think you were going to go with his attire.
The attire is a big thing. His presentation is great.
He looks amazing. I'm not entertaining this. I'm not entertaining this. What was the second thing?
All of his matches feel like I'm watching an AEW match.
I can understand that. Okay, hold on. It feels like you're watching an AEW match, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many other matches can you say that about when you're watching a WWE
Not many.
show?
No, listen, he's different from everybody else. I get
That's
it.
what I'm saying. So that's not necessarily a bad thing because they can use some AEW-ish wrestling. I'm not saying to the extent because the super kicks and all that, like that, we don't need that.
Spamming super kicks, spamming Canadian destroyers, Sope, whatever the heck he's calling it now. Like I get it. But we said this when he was in AEW. He was facing the Young Bucks all the time, and him and Phoenix were facing Young Bucks. Their matches just all seem formulaic. They all seem like he's doing the same thing every single time. Mm-hmm. Like there's no. I don't want to say there's no innovation to his match, but it's spamming super kick buttons. It's doing that little jumping side kick to the back of the head when somebody's on the top rope, right? Like all of his matches seem the same. So it's cool because the WWE fan who hasn't watched him for the last 10 years, who's just seeing him for the first time, or seeing him is saying, "Oh, this dude is cool." But for hardcore wrestlers or for people who watch everything like myself, it's just like, okay, this match is cool, but you could be doing more. You could be elevating yourself to a different level in this company that you didn't do over there.
I get what you're saying. I understand it. So I'm not going to sit here and just be like, get out of here, like dismiss it all. But understand that WWE is filled with two kinds of people, essentially, right? You got your hardcore WWE where all they do is watch WWE and nothing outside of it.
Yep.
And then you have your casuals who will turn in periodically.
Yeah.
You don't have a big group of hardcore wrestling fans.
I get that.
This is new for the majority of the people watching. Yes. So that's why I would say give it time. I understand that for you, somebody who literally watches everything and takes very little time off in terms of, like me,
gaps
me, I'll have gaps where I'll go a year or years not watching wrestling and then I'll come back to it. You don't take that type of time off. So you've seen almost everything. But for a casual person, for a person who mostly just watches WWE, this is brand new to us.
Yeah.
And so I get where your frustration comes into. All I'm saying is give it time. Because right now this is new for us.
Yeah. I get it. Like I said, he's cool. I've always liked Penta. I like Penta going back to the Lucha Underground days when he was feuding with Vampiro. Like he was. That's where I first saw Penta.
I want to
He
see
was
Penta versus Io Sky.
go back to Lucha Underground
I know.
season
That's
4,
why
whatever it
I
was.
said that I want to see a rematch.
They're not doing that on the main
I
roster.
know.
His match against Io Sky, his match against Chelsea Green and over there, great matches. It's dope. They're not doing that here.
Is Lucha Underground still on Netflix?
No, they took that off a couple years ago, and then you could only watch it if you bought it through Amazon Prime
Copy.
or Apple TV.
Copy. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering
So
because they had some really good matches. It was a very entertaining show.
what made Lucha Underground great is it
The
as opposed
telenovela
to
aspect.
that's what it was.
100%.
So as opposed to wrestling being portrayed as a sport or portrayed as wrestling, Lucha Underground portrayed it as a telenovela TV show where it just happened to have a ring. Like it had nothing, like there was nothing, like there just happened to be a ring there, and that's where everybody met up once a week to have fights. But the story, but you can have 3 matches on a 90-minute Lucha Underground show, and everything else was cutscenes. Yeah. Everything else was shot in grainy, dark cutscenes, and like. And just to think of the roster that they had, besides the guys like Penta and Phoenix, Rey Mysterio was there, Prince Puma, Ricochet was there, Ezekiel Jackson was there for a short time, Johnny Mundo was there, Dominic Mysterio showed up at one point, Santos Escobar was there. Like they had so many guys. I know I'm forgetting a lot of Brian Cage.
Yep.
Jeff Cobb, like there were so many great wrestlers that came through Lucha Underground, and a bunch of women too that you don't think about. Like I said, Chelsea Green, Io Scott, Kairi Sane was on Lucha Underground. Like they had so many great wrestlers there, and it only ran 5 seasons. So I tell everybody, if you want to watch a show and be entertained and it not be traditionally about wrestling, watch Lucha Underground.
And it's something that you can also watch in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
And not be bogged down by so much history that you feel like you can't catch up or you don't understand certain things. It's 5 seasons.
Yeah. It's 5 seasons. The matches are great. And at the end of every season, they had these things. What was it called? They had like a big blow off, basically their WrestleMania every season. And
I forgot what it's called. Oh man, that's gonna kill me. I gotta remember that for the next time.
Yeah, so
but it was what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just an amazing show. So Penta and Braun Breaker had their match for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker, I say, is again future world champion. He's going to be a star. He's going to be main eventing WrestleManias one day. They have a really good match. Braun is getting better. For a guy who's only been wrestling professionally 4 years, he's getting so good in the ring because he knows what he does. He knows who he is. He's a Steiner. Yep. He's the son of Rick Steiner. I mean, he knows how to work his style in the ring and make it look amazing. The way he hits ropes, the way he hits his spear, the way he hits his clotheslines, his athleticism is off the charts. They have a really good match, ending up in a disqualification. So earlier in this show and last week, Dominic Mysterio asked Finn Balor about adding Penta to the Judgment Day.
Yep.
Finn did not like this.
Finn did
not like this. Finn, for 2 reasons. One, Finn's trying to go after Braun Breaker's Intercontinental Championship.
Yep. He
doesn't want the new guy coming in who's also going after that Intercontinental Championship in his crew.
Which makes perfect sense because you're going to bring in a guy that automatically there's animosity towards. Like, that don't make sense for team dynamics.
On top of the team dynamics that they already have, where Finn's the de facto leader since they kicked out Damian Priest and Rhea. Mm-hmm. And since they added Liv to the group, Dominic and Liv have sort of been taking the reins of the group, and Finn doesn't like it. So you have these segments where Finn and Dom clash.
Yep.
So Dominic Mysterio comes out with Carlito, watching the match, trying to help Penta win so that way they can recruit him.
Yep.
Penta, towards the end, after a great match, He's got the one up on Braun Breaker, looking like he's about to win the champion. I'm sorry, Braun Breaker has a one up on Penta, looking like he's about to win the championship. Dominic Mysterio hits Braun Breaker with a chop block, disqualifying Penta, and they start the beatdown. Eventually, Braun gets the upper hand. Finn comes out of nowhere with a steel chair, hits Braun in the back, gives it to Dom as a sign
At
of
first,
solidarity.
it looked like he was gonna hit Dom.
Gonna hit Dom 100%. He looked like he's gonna hit Dom. He's like, I told you not to do this.
Exactly.
I told you not to do this. We need to be on the same page. I told you we didn't need Penta. That's basically what he was telling with his eyes.
Yep.
He hands Dom the chair. Dom starts hitting Braun with the chair, it's keeping him down. Dom hands the chair to Penta. For a split second, you can see Penta think about it. Then he looks at Finn, he looks at Dom, he chucks the chair at Dom, Dom catches it, super kick to the face, through the chair, Dom eats it in the face, and Finn's reaction was gold. It was money. He literally did one of these.
Yep.
And then went back to attacking Penta. Eventually, the Judgment Day gets one up on Penta. They beat down Penta. They beat down Braun. And the show goes off the air with the three members of the Judgment Day: Finn, Carlito, Dom, standing over the two baby faces. My question to you is, I think I know where this is going. Where do you think this goes from here? Do you think Finn and Dom are on the same page after a beatdown? Do you think there's still animosity between them?
There's definitely animosity, and they're definitely getting a new member. And I'm with the online community when I say I think it's going to be Malachi Black.
Really?
Online community and I agree. Malachi Black comes back in, kicks Finn out of the Judgment Day.
Okay. I don't think it's going to be Malachi Black. I agree with you on getting a new member. I think it's going to be Karrion Kross. I think Karrion Kross
the only
fits
reason
them better.
I get it, the only reason that might make sense to me is because they let go of his entire everybody that was in his faction.
His aesthetic fits them better because Judgment Day isn't and has never been a supernatural group, which is where Malachi fits in.
Before.
I mean, when he was in WWE, he's essentially a vampire. He's coming up on a thing.
Before. We don't know how he's coming back now. He's coming back. Okay. He could come in more on a grounded.
You think? But they're essentially a biker gang, right?
Yeah,
that's what they are. I think adding Karrion Kross and Scarlett to that mix, they look like biker gang. They look like that aesthetic. And you need to do something with Karrion Kross. I think he was great
for weeks. He was great for weeks, being the puppeteer in the background, and then they just kind of let that go.
Criminally underutilized talent in Karrion Kross.
100%.
I think Malachi's going to SmackDown. I don't see him going to Raw. I think he's actually going to show up on SmackDown.
Okay.
But
I can see that too.
I think the Judgment Day is still fractured. I've been saying this for weeks, and it looks like they're going to set up a fatal four-way at Mania with Dom, with Finn, with Penta, and with Braun for that Intercontinental Championship. I don't know how it's going to play out with Finn and Dom. I know how I want that match to go because I've been saying this forever.
Dom gets a
chance. Dominic Mysterio. Well, he's a former NXT North American champion.
That
so
don't count. Continue.
Let's not disrespect Dominic Mysterio.
That don't count.
Dominic Mysterio has something that other wrestlers don't have early in their career.
That natural heat.
The natural heat. He knows how to work the crowd.
Yep.
He knows how to do stuff that a lot of wrestlers go their entire career without knowing how to do. Mm-hmm. He's got it.
He just knows how to piss people off.
Yeah.
Like to a T.
And when they flip him back, and when they eventually flip him back, he's going to be super over as a babyface. I want him to win that championship at Mania. I think the heat he can get from winning that championship would be nuclear. It would be amazing. Do you want Penta to lose his first Mania match? I don't know. Do you want Braun to lose his first Mania match? I don't know. But I know how I'd book it. Dominic Mysterio pins Finn Balor and wins the Intercontinental Championship at Mania.
I agree, and that would be the perfect way because Penta and Braun don't take the L.
They don't get the pinfall, yeah.
Exactly, and you have it be that way to kick Finn out of the Judgment Day officially and say like, "Hey, I did it without you."
Or not only did I did it without you, I did it over you.
Over you.
Like over you. I beat you.
And then boom.
To win this
and guess what? The best thing to come out of it, then you finally have something to do with Finn on top of that.
Yeah. You turn him babyface, and Finn chasing Dominic Mysterio for a title sounds super weird. But it'll be great. I think that could be really, really fun to have babyface Finn Balor really losing his mental shit and going after the Intercontinental Championship from this guy who he looks at like, Dom's beneath me, but I gotta get this from him.
Yep. I got. I like that plan. Book it.
Book it, Hunter. Hunter, I need you to book it.
Book it, sir. Okay. But yeah, overall, again, it was a very solid Raw, and with moments of great.
Yeah, with moments of hilarity, moments of great matches. It was a solid show. It was hopefully we can continue to build on this going into Mania. Raws have been better the last few weeks than SmackDowns have. I've been watching SmackDowns and they've just been oh god, it's been such a drag. I don't know what it is about that show right now, but it's just been not very good.
Now my only thing, the same way we were talking about Karrion Kross being absent, my issue is also with R-Truth being absent. Because I'm dying to find out his reaction to Cena. And again, for me, I would love him to play a part in when Cena then goes back to being face. Over weeks trying to convince him and so on and so forth, getting shot down, so on and so forth. And then later when he finally flips it, flip it with R-Truth.
I'll give you one other one. Cena comes out next week, starts cutting a promo. R-Truth's music hits. He tries to appeal to John Cena. Cena, you were my idol. You were everything, which is hilarious because R-Truth.
Cena puts him down.
Cena hits him with an AA. Puts him down in AA. Puts him in STF. Holds it there. The heat Cena will get for taking down everyone's favorite R-Truth would be astronomical. I think people will hate it more than him hitting Cody. I think they're.
That's not a bad idea, though.
Just put down. Yeah, put him down. Put down Truth. The heat he will get is ridiculous. And then you have Cody save Truth because of all the things Cody has said on his podcast about how much he hates R-Truth. Cody's talked about when he was Stardust, he lost 40-something matches to R-Truth on the house show circuit. like it would be so good. That'd be so good. You need to continue this John Cena heat magnet going. You need to utilize Truth to do it. I think that's an amazing plan.
Bet. So again, guys, let us know what you think. Because me and Harm, we could talk about this literally all day. We could talk about it till the cows come home, so to speak. But we also want to know what you guys think. We want you to engage with us. We want you, again, to be a part of this community that we want to grow. So please let us know what you think. Let us know also just what you think about the podcast. How can we improve? What do you think we should do differently? So on and so forth. What we have ideas for games that we want to do for our short forms. But let us know what you guys want us to do as well. Please just engage with us and let us know, because this is just as much for us as it is for you guys.
Absolutely.
We just love wrestling.
Absolutely. I'm a huge wrestling fan. I have been my whole life. Like he said before, I took a few years off years ago, but I've been avid for the last 11 years, watching everything from TNA to AEW to Lucha Underground to NWA Power. I watch everything. And if you enjoyed the podcast today, if you're on YouTube, please hit also the like. Please comment, like Roman said. Please comment so how we can do better, and also subscribe and hit that notify bell so that way we're going to be doing this twice a week and maybe have some short of form content pretty soon, so that way you never miss one of our shows. If you're on Spotify, please comment, rate, and review so that way our content can get pushed to somebody else who may not be seeing it originally, because that's how we're going to make this channel grow. We want our program to be aggregated. If somebody else is listening to another podcast, we want to be aggregated on that. We want to be moving towards that. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, I feel like me and him have known each other 25 years. We have really good chemistry. You may just watching us banter and bicker. So we can get aggregated on those types of podcasts too. That'd be great.
Yeah. As we said, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.